No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show, presented by Play Now, the official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets, starts now.
It wasn't easy because what has been easy for the Winnipeg Jets this season, and it got a little bit nerve-wracking in the final moments, but the Winnipeg Jets start their 4-game road trip with a must-needed victory tonight in New Jersey, in the swamps of Jersey, 4-3 over the Devils. Good evening, Winnipeg. Good evening, Manitoba. And for all those joining us live this evening on our YouTube channel, as well as all of our social media platforms, we say good evening, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show. All three of us together for tonight's post-game. Dave Manouk in the top right, Ezra Ginsburg in the bottom middle, and I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Again, the Jets needed to get this road trip off on a good foot. They've said that they know what they're up against with the now 4 games left before the Olympic break. And tonight they did so with a clean 2 points in New Jersey. Wasn't the prettiest, not by a long shot, but that second period, the strength of that second period was enough to give the Jets the victory. Gentlemen, good to see you both on this Tuesday evening. How are things in your respective lives?
How are things in our respective lives? They're good. We're doing the post-game show, Drew, so things are really good. That's all that matters. We're here. The chat is here. Before we get into the game tonight, can we talk about that opening game ceremony and how awesome that was?
I think it's still going on. I'm pretty sure they just moved to a different part of the arena and just kept it going. It wasn't quite long enough is what I was hoping, that it would be a few minutes longer.
Drew, as a Devils fan, that could not have been long enough for me. Like, the guys that they brought out, like Tommy Albaline, Sergei Brelin, not to mention the Hall of Famers, Stevens, Niedermeyer, Brodeur, Brendan Shanahan. You got to love that. But yes, it was a little bit long.
I think the problem was that, just as far as I know, I mean, I wasn't aware that it was going to happen tonight. I don't know that anybody mentioned it.
Yeah, I saw it. It was out there.
Was it out there? Maybe it's just because I was settling in to watch it. I'm like, why is this still going on? I would have rearranged my schedule, so I didn't realize I had an extra 25 minutes at the beginning of the game. I was ready for puck drop, and then I had like another half an hour. So that's probably on me. But because we don't want to take anything away from John McClain. To your point, Ezzy.
McClain's one of the greatest Devils of all time, 95 Cup winner. It's actually on me, Drew, because I texted Tom Fitzgerald, and I'm like, listen. I need to annoy Drew really bad.
Yes.
How can we annoy Drew really bad? Let's have a 30-minute pregame ceremony bringing out all the Devils from the 95 to 2003 era, and that's exactly what happened. That's what it was, Drew. They put that whole thing together just to annoy you.
I don't remember John McClain as a member of the IHL's Manitoba Moose. Now, admittedly, I wasn't following the IHL that closely.
Well, that was at the end of his career, obviously.
Obviously, but I do not remember him spending any time with the Manitoba Moose.
Was he there the first year?
Yeah, it must have been the
alongside former assistant coach Eric Dubois.
There you go. That would probably make sense. Dave, is that a Manouk Moose minute? Can you go back in time to do IHL Moose minutes, or is that
too early?
Is that predating you?
No, too early in the show for sure. But the one thing,
Dave, for those the Greg Pankowitz, Alex Korluck years,
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know, Ezzy, but
Alex Korluck was great in the shootout.
Yeah, I think you're right. Usually, hey, as he's
are you sure that wasn't the Fedorov days of the Manitoba Moose?
No, maybe, but I'm gonna one up you here. Was it the Vincent Riendo days?
Wow, now you're really going.
That's right. You know how old we are, Vince. I remember Vincent Riendo coming in to talk to our hockey team during the intermission. That's how old we are. Like, I was probably 14 at the time. So you're talking about like 96, 97. Like, well, it wouldn't have been 96 because they came back in 97, right?
Speaking of old, I was at the old River Heights Community Center, or the Corden Community Center now.
The old barn, Drew.
The old barn, and I was looking at some of the pictures on the wall, and I came across an old photo of yours truly that I had to show to the kids. That I don't know why they have a photo of whatever team it was that I was playing on back in the day, but I showed it to the kids, and they're like, "Hey, Dad, you have hair." And I'm like, "Yeah, I was a child who had hair."
Yes. Wasn't it
Drew Mandel, River Heights legend? They called him Sniper.
That's right. Sniper indeed. I think I was skating like I got hit by a sniper in the crowd is what was happening at that point in time. In any event, because we've already managed to digress before we even get into the game, why don't we talk about the game tonight? Look, we know that the Jets are, it's a very, very uphill climb. But, you had to win tonight. You wanted to see at least a better performance after the coach ripped them on Saturday against the Detroit Red Wings. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't perfect. Like we said, it's not going to be perfect for this team this year. But you got that better performance. You saw at least a better effort. There were times where it was a little bit stinky on the ice for the Jets, particularly the first Devils goal, I would suggest. But by and large, I think this was a bounce back kind of performance after Scott Arniel absolutely went up one side of the Jets and down the other after Saturday night's game.
Well, boys, what did we say after last game, right? We said the first line has got to lead by example and be better. Who scored the first 2 goals for the Jets tonight? The first line, right? So they stepped up, and I love how the Jets reacted and produced those 3 goals in the second period, because the first period, you're right, it was tied 1-1. Remember those 2 giveaways by Logan Stanley to Jack Hughes? Like that easily could have been 2-1 Devils, Dave, going into the second period, right? So I love how they reacted and came out hard in the second period and made sure that, they scored the early goal, right? And then followed that up with Cole Koepke's goal. So you got goals from different lines tonight. I liked how they came out in the third period. I realized the shot total is not flattering to the Jets, and the Devils got that power play. Josh Morrissey took that penalty, and they had a lot of pressure. Then they got the goal to bring them within 1, but I still liked how the Jets came out in the third. I just thought their effort was right, and I thought they just played a solid overall game. So, yes, this win is not going to mean a lot if you follow that up with a loss to the Florida Panthers, but that's all we said is that
they play the Lightning before that first.
Oh, sorry, the Lightning first, then the Panthers, to the 2 Florida games. But that's what we said, is that with 5 games left, I mean, to really get back into the playoff race, you got to win all 5 of these games, or at the very least, go 4-1.
Yeah, no question about it. And, to your point about the third period, it really wasn't until the back half of the third period that the Devils started to be able to sort of gain some momentum, and they threw a lot of pucks towards Connor Hellebuyck, and he had to be sharp, particularly on that, on the power play opportunities. But if, I thought the first 10 minutes of the third period were a quality 10 minutes for the Jets, and it was only in the back half that New Jersey really started to push hard, and the Jets really were on their heels at that point in time. But I mean, again, when you really break it down, Dave, these are 2, at best mediocre hockey teams. And the Jets, at least, we'll give them credit in this one. They took advantage of the mistakes the New Jersey Devils made. You got to see some nice playmaking from both, of course, Scheifele, Connor, Velarde, and some contributions from other goal scorers tonight. The Jets don't care how they get the game, how they get the win, as long as they get the win, because that's what's most important for them at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, look, folks can say that they're done and blah, 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 but they still have to play all these games. And so the Jets are going to continue to play them until they're either traded or they're eliminated. But the fact is that, the New Jersey Devils aren't a very good hockey team, right, Ezzy? I mean, I don't think that's a newsflash to anyone. They may have more points than the Winnipeg Jets, but
they were a good hockey team in 1995, 2000, and 2003, though.
That is correct. But I just think it is a, they're a team that just looks like, I mean, they made a trade today. They traded, was it Palat, who was dealt to.
That was going to be my joke, Dave. That ceremony was so long that they had Tom Fitzgerald had time to make a trade.
Well,
he literally made that trade during that ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, they pulled him out of the line. He was
I've never seen Drew look so disgusted in his life.
I mean, I like to think I know a little bit about humor. I mean, I might not be funny myself, but I know a little bit about comedy.
You're more humor adjacent than you are humorous.
That's fine. I'm humor adjacent. I'm not saying that I myself am funny, but I know that what Ezzy just tried to do was definitely not a joke. It was just not funny at all. So I mean,
I've been sending my resume into Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club for 20 years now.
Hey, we judged.
All that I keep getting is a renewed restraining order.
That's right. And an out of office response.
And it's like, listen, when do you guys do the funniest person with a day job.
In the summer, it's a summer contest. The Winnipeg, the
so
Rumors annual Winnipeg's funniest with a person with a day job contest.
Keep supplying your resume to that, and one day maybe you two will get a chance to go up there. And
Dave, the only problem is Drew asked us to be judges, so we
well, Drew and I will judge your ability to make.
Actually, the real problem for Ezzy, we're just never convinced he's actually going to have a day job if he was ever to perform.
But anyways, so the fact is that no, I mean, New Jersey is a team. It just seems like, and again, I don't watch the New Jersey Devils. Unlike Mr. Ginsburg, I am not a fan of the New Jersey Devils, and I would just say
they can't score. Like that's been their issue the entire year.
The graphic
score, and they've had trouble defending as well. So
the graphic
those two things not good.
No, but look at the graphic they showed on the broadcast. I mean, the top scorer is 84th overall in the NHL. I mean, that is not, and who is it? Hughes?
Nico Hischier. Yeah.
Hischier and he's got 36 points, 37 points, something like that. It's pretty bad.
And Hughes missed almost 20 games, right? So
there's no question.
But Hughes is a point a game player this year. So if Hughes was healthy, then he'd have whatever 53, 54 points. So he'd be a little bit higher. But yeah, Dave, your point is still very well made. I mean, they just can't score. They're second least amount of goals for in the league. I think St. Louis is the only team that scored less.
Yeah, and I just think that it just seems, from what I've read, is that and I know this isn't Devil's Lunch, but since the attempt to acquire Quinn Hughes from Vancouver, which were necessitated, Dougie Hamilton waiving his no movement clause and all that other stuff, that it just seems like that's, from what I've read, has been kind of like a death knell to this team. So
sent them into a bit of a tailspin.
It's a good way of saying it. So I think that's been a problem for them. And they look. I mean, again, how many points are they ahead of the Jets? Not that it matters because East versus West, but I think they came into this game.
They had 56 points coming into today's game.
Right. So
but I keep telling you, Dave, to look at the goal differential. Look at their goal differential.
Oh no, for sure. There's no question about it, Ezzy. I just think that it comes down to the Jets had to win this game, and you couldn't to what Drew said, and we'll get back to focusing on the Jets after what happened to them against the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday. When it was a Saturday night, Saturday night, and for them to have had that type of effort against Detroit in that third period, and for the coach to come out, and it's interesting because one of the things that we talked about with him on Sunday afternoon. I think it was Sunday afternoon because they were off.
No, it must have been Monday. Sunday was an off day. Monday before they took off for New Jersey. One of the things that Scott Arniel was asked about was, you played even though those games were fairly boring against St. Louis, and who was the team after St. Louis that they beat? The team they lost to Florida in the shootout.
Right. So sorry, the similar type of games against St. Louis and Florida. He was asked, and he goes, "Well, what about against Detroit? At least for the first two periods." And Arniel basically was like, "We weren't very good in the first two periods, boys. We just didn't get burnt by it, but we didn't play a very good game." And so I thought, especially in that second period, they kind of had that return to let's get to the front of the net. I mean, the Cole Koepke goal shows you exactly kind of that what they needed to do, which was get to the front of the net, put pucks in there, and then hope that you can do what Koepke did, which is bury the rebound. Or put it home. So it just seemed like they were doing that a little bit more. And then, it's a little bit of a score effect situation, right? The Devils, you're in a bit of a prevent. The Jets are a fragile team. So you're up, you've got that big lead. The Devils get that one late, obviously, in the second period, not ideal, and gives them a little bit of life. And then you expect that the Devils are going to be the team. You would hope, if you're Scott Arniel and the coaching staff, that the Jets would have kind of come out in the third period and taken control. They didn't. And New Jersey obviously ran pretty aggressively in that final frame.
No question about it. Worth noting, the Devils did come into this game ever since they lost to the Jets on that Sunday afternoon, which was probably about 2 weeks ago,
something about that.
2+ weeks ago. The Devils came into tonight. They had been on a bit of a hot streak. They came into tonight's game with a 5-2 record in their last 7 since the last time the Jets and the Devils met in Winnipeg. So they had been playing some decent hockey as of late. But again, kudos to the Jets. We haven't had an opportunity very often this year to say kudos to the Jets for a good performance. In fact, this is only win 21 on the season, if I'm not mistaken.
22, I think.
Is this 22 now? You're right. No, 21, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, it probably hasn't been updated.
Yeah, it's updated, isn't it? Isn't this game 52? Yeah, 21 wins. They have 20 wins entering tonight.
Oy.
We'll give the Jets an extra win for Dave, just so he can
Just so
good.
Dave doesn't have to say "oi" on air, like the crushing reality is just hitting him or anything. But yes, the Jets get the victory tonight against.
Oh,
the
you're right,
New
Drew,
Jersey
because
Devils.
you were saying last show 20 wins in 51 games is not very good.
No, that's right. Exactly. I thought don't confuse me with my second guess my math skills there, Mr. Manuk. Come on.
Go on.
What are you doing with that nonsense? In any event, let's get into the nitty-gritty details of tonight's game. We do it each and every edition of the Illegal Curve post-game show.
The Play Now game recap.
Big thank you to our friends at Play Now. They want to send you and a guest to Toronto for a triple header to see the Leafs, Jays, and Raptors all in one epic getaway. Learn how to enter at playnow.com, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. Conditions apply, 18 plus. Enjoy responsibly. I mean, the Jays and the Raptors are playing some, Jays last year were playing some good ball, as we know. Raptors are playing some good basketball. The Leafs lost tonight on home ice to the Buffalo Sabres, 7-4. So they are also struggling, sort of akin to the Winnipeg Jets, two teams that were good last year that are not as good this year. I think I saw the stat, this courtesy of our buddy Chris Johnston. The Leafs had 115 points last year. For them to get 115 points this year, they have to go 29-0-0 in their final 29 games.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Did
slim
the Leafs only have one less point than the Jets?
I believe that is the correct stat, Mr. Ginsburg. Yeah, the Jets have 49 points. No, the eight more points, says he.
No. You said the Leafs had 115 points last year.
Oh, last year. Yeah, that's
because the Jets had 116, didn't they, Dave?
Yeah, I don't think the Leafs, because I thought it was Washington who finished second. I don't think the Leafs finished with 115 points.
Sorry, the Leafs had 108 points. Yeah, Chris Johnston's tweet might be.
The math isn't math.
No, not last year. 2021, 2022. I read it wrong. Chris is right. I'm wrong. It wasn't last year. It was 21-22. I'm a little rusty tonight, folks.
Drew, this isn't Leafs lunch. Let's focus on the Jets, for God's sakes.
Fair enough. Let's focus on the Winnipeg Jets. And they came out strong, and they came out right in tonight's contest against the Devils. They opened the scoring. That's what you want to do in this instance. And it's Mark Scheifele, his 26th of the year. Kyle Connor, Gabe Vilardi, they get the assists on this goal. It's beautiful passing. I mean, this is it's a jumbled line. It's not, Vilardi, Scheifele, and Connor were reunited in the second period. It just happens to be in the midst of a sort of a line change here that gets the three of them back on the ice. And it's a nice pass. I believe it's from Samberg. Dylan Samberg makes the pass to Gabe Vilardi, who comes on the ice off the Jets bench, and he's coming in, and it's a bad line change by Brett Pesce. So it's almost would have been a 3-on-2 sort of, and then it becomes a bit of a modified 3-on-1. And Vilardi finds Kyle Connor as the bit of the trailer, and then Connor, sort of baits the defenseman for the Devils, and then he finds over to Scheifele, who wires it past Jake Allen. These guys have a sixth sense as to where they each are on the ice. It all goes wrong for the Devils with the Brett Pesce line change at an inopportune time, but real nice passing by Vilardi, Connor, and then to Scheifele as he to give the Jets the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tic-tac-toe play, as you mentioned, Drew, between Scheifele, Vilardi, and Connor, but it's also, to your point, it's a really heads-up play by Dylan Samberg to get that puck up to Vilardi because he sees that Pesce is going off. And it's like you said, it's a bad line change. That's what creates the 2-on-1 or the 3-on-2, however you want to look at it. Yeah. And so I love this early goal by the Jets because as we talked about last game after Scott Arniel's comments and as we were kind of talking about prior to the game, it was the first line that needed to step up for the Jets tonight. If the Jets are going to come back and get into a playoff spot, and I realize there's still a long way to go. So let me repeat that. I realize this is only one game, but the first line is going to have to be the driver. Yes, the Taves Perfetti line has come along, but it's the Scheifele Connor line that has to be driving the bus on most nights. So really, really pretty goal. But yeah, love the tic-tac-toe passing play, Dave, but love the fact that Samberg identifies that line change and gets it up quickly to Vilardi, which starts the whole play.
Yeah, and obviously Scott Arniel knows that he needs. I mean, like you said, Drew, it's improvised at this point, but if you're going to need offense, you're going to lose some defense, as we're going to see on the goal against, which is not particularly pretty. That first goal against, I should say, but yeah, I mean, these guys can definitely all feed each other. There's no question about it, how comfortable they all are in terms of distributing the puck. I mean, we see it. You look at the numbers. I know we're going to get into it on the next Jets goal, but I mean, both Connor and Scheifele at 37 assists. I mean, it's just amazing how consistent these guys have been in terms of producing this year as a collective. And I know Gabriel Velarde was obviously moved off that line to kind of boost the second line, but really nice play, real nice tic-tac-toe. And like we've talked about, the one thing the Jets have been doing during this little run, at least, and they're now 6-2-2 in their last 10, Drew? Is that right? 6-2-2, I think.
Sounds right. Let me double check it here. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong year. I'm looking at the wrong year stats now. So
you're still trying to fact check Chris Johnston, aren't you?
That's where I left off. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. You are.
Yeah. So 6-2-2 in their last 10. And one of the things that's been notable is the fact that they have been scoring the first goal in a lot of those games. I know it was like they were 9 of 9, then 9 of 10. Then I think they've resumed that. So they're probably like either 12 of 13 or 13 of the last 14 where they've at least opened the scoring, and it changes the way you're playing the game a little bit. So it at least is a positive in that regard. Especially
because the Jets had so much difficulty scoring. I mean,
right.
They've had so much difficulty scoring at 5-on-5 over the last week or so that to get 4 even strength goals tonight, it's a good feeling for the Winnipeg Jets, and that, we can sort of move off of that talking point, at least until the next time they get shut out or only get 1 goal or no goals at 5-on-5. So 1-0 for the Jets, a minute and a half into the game, but they give up the lead about 6.5 minutes later. The Devils tie it up at 1. It's Lenny Haminaho, who is a household name in every NHL fan's house.
He is in the Ginsburg household.
Is he? I bet you assist to Arseny Griciak, another household name. The Devils are throwing all these interesting names at us on this goal. This goal is about as ugly as it gets for the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, they get hemmed in their own zone, and they finally get it out, and it's DeMello gets it up to Alex Iafallo, and then Iafallo just completely sort of fans on it. He does get it out of the Jet zone, but he puts it sort of into – he's trying to hit Scheifele with the cross-ice pass, but by virtue of fanning on it, it's now sort of in this no man's land between Connor and Scheifele, just outside of the Jets' defensive blue line. Neither of whom really put forth much of an effort to go get the puck. It's like they're both waiting for the other guy to get it. But, unfortunately, and what happens in this instance is nobody gets it except for Griciak, who gets it onto the stick of Haminaho, and he comes in all alone on Connor Hellebuyck, and he beats Hellebuyck 5-hole to tie it up at 1 goal apiece. It's a flub from Iafallo, which you're not used to expecting. And then you hate how both Scheifele and Connor play this one, and just that neither of whom sort of takes the bull by the horn and says, okay, that's my puck, I'm going to go get it. And so instead, Griciak and Haminaho say, thank you very much for the opportunity. We're going to go tie the game up with 1 goal apiece. Neither Connor, nor Scheifele, nor Iafallo are going to like how this one looks on the tape.
Or Scott Arniel.
Certainly, or Scott Arniel and the coaching staff as well. You're right about that.
Lenny Haminaho, the cousin of Sebastian Aho. I don't know that for any.
Which Sebastian Aho is what I'm going to ask you now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I opened that one up for you, Drew. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ugly on this goal, and we talked about it, guys. The first period was sloppy, right? But I mean, it's not a great pass by Dylan DeMello up to Iafallo. Iafallo whiffs on it. It goes through a couple Devils, and then you don't love the back check by Kyle Connor. So that's why I said that earlier, that I loved how the Jets responded in the second period to a very sloppy first period. Just thought they managed the puck a lot better throughout the game, right? You can imagine, Dave, that Scott Arniel and the coaching staff was probably pointing these things out to the Jets, that type of zone exit just can't happen when you're trying to win these games, when you're desperate for a couple points, right? Yeah. So this goal was really ugly. I mean, it was the end of a shift, right? You had Josh Morrissey going off, and you had Dylan DeMello going off right at the end. So, second straight goal where it was kind of, the line change wasn't necessarily the reason why, but it didn't help that Josh Morrissey and Dylan DeMello, if you watch the replay, are both going off the ice while Haminaho goes in and scores 5-hole on Connor Hellebuyck. So, yeah, I think your description of the goal as ugly is very apropos.
Thank you.
No, I was just saying, like, the problem for the Jets is like they're just so. I don't know how long. Do you know how long the shift was, Drew? I should have looked this up before.
Well, they were hemmed
As a,
into their own zone. So,
yeah,
I mean, I don't have it immediately in front of me, but I know
yeah,
that they were hemmed into their own zone. They had multiple opportunities to clear the puck before the DeMello to Iafallo flub.
right. But I'm just
And they
saying, like,
just,
I
it was
just look at the
ugly.
way, but look at the way every guy is like. None of them are digging in, right? Even Iafallo, like you look, he realizes, okay, oh, I just passed it terribly. He watches it. You can see he's just toast, and then Kyle Connor. I mean, it's just that's an embarrassing effort from Kyle Connor because he's caught flat-footed, which for him is rare. Mark Scheifele does kind of like the neutral zone, like
It was like
flyby.
Olay.
Well, and it's like, Mark, remember, it sounds like Braden Point's going to be fine. So the likelihood of the Olympics is still remote, but you may want to not necessarily show that on your highlight reels if you're trying to convince folks that your defensive acumen is solid, because it's just, you can't be that loose. And I don't get me wrong. I mean, Mark Scheifele's been very good, but it's one of those things that you talk about because you're the top line and you can't afford to be that loose, I think, defensively, right, Ezzy? So that's it's collectively on the five players that are on there, and not a great goal on Connor Hellebuck either, because it's not as if, I mean, let's be realistic, guys. Like, it's not like Connor Hellebuck, was beat by a goal that was, I don't know, just like this incredible shot. I mean, he got beat 5 holes. So yeah, I think it's a breakdown from the entire group on the ice, from all six guys wearing Jets jerseys, in my mind.
This Sammy Naho, though, Drew, pardon me, Dave, he was playing well in Utica, though.
Mm-hmm.
Nine goals, 20 points in 30 games. But you're right. I mean, everything about this goal was ugly. Let's just agree about it.
Yeah.
It was not getting the puck out of your own zone. Iafallo just like loosely throwing the puck into the neutral zone, the back check, Hellebuck's positioning, like just everything about this goal was something that Jets fans are not going to want to. There's not going to be a lot of Jets fans that are going to want to watch that replay of that goal anytime soon.
I would agree. 1-1 after 20 minutes. A lot of Jets fans will want to watch the replay of the second period goal, the early.
Hold on, Drew. I understand you want to glaze over to the second period where the Jets
You're right. We should talk about this. Are you done with the Stanley giveaways?
But it's not just on Logan Stanley. And I know Doug's going to jump in right here as soon as I say, Logan Stanley, because it's not great. I mean, Morgan Barron hits him with a pass, which you could say, put him into a position. But what was Luke Shen doing exactly to help his defensive partner out? I mean, we could probably say that a lot if you look at the numbers after tonight's game. But I mean, this is Logan talked to us on Monday. I think was it Monday, Ezzy, or last week, whatever Monday. It was when we last spoke to him. And
no, it must have been Friday because we talked about it on Saturday morning.
We actually didn't talk about these giveaways though, Dave, because that would have meant he could have gone into the future.
Well, yeah, it's true. My when I tweeted out the video, rather than just use my standard dear mama, I was very tempted to say, well, he's just dropped his UFA number from a 5 to at least a 4, maybe from a 4 to a 3, with that kind of play. Not that NHL GMs pay attention to that kind of stuff. Although interestingly, during the insider trading, Dreger said that the two sides haven't even started to have a conversation. Right. And we know that if Dreger's saying it's coming from Shovel Day Off. So there's that was a little bit of a, I mean, he did say something of note finally. And I just think that it's one of those, it's a play that that's what he talked about. His defensive game needs to be better. The first mistake, fine, you can kind of understand it, but you've just made a bad error. You can't let, I understand it's Hughes. I understand it's a very good skater, very good player, right, Ezzy? Yeah. But that's a rough play to make. The
craziest part about it is that he gives it away and then he starts to go up the ice and Hughes just pickpockets him and gets the puck back again.
That's what I'm saying. The lack of self-awareness to not be like, okay, I got to get this puck out. Like the time is, I don't remember exactly how much time was left on the clock, but it wasn't a lot in that
less than a minute.
Period. It was less than a minute to go in the period.
So my point is, it's a 1-1 game. And could you imagine if you go into the first intermission down 2-1 because of that? It's tough. And for the record, there were a lot of Jets who I thought made some bad plays, including Josh Morrissey in the first period. So it's not just a Logan Stanley thing, but this one was the most egregious of the ones we saw.
And worth mentioning that, Connor Hellebuck, who has not been great this year, bailed out his teammates at least a couple times. He made some nice saves into the course of today's game. Mm-hmm. You might not love that first goal that he gave up, and I have time for that argument. But Connor Hellebuck made some important saves for the Winnipeg Jets, particularly as the game wound down in the final minutes when New Jersey was pressing for the equalizer and everything else along those lines. 1-1 at that point after 20 minutes. I don't want to, you're right, Dave, I shouldn't have glossed it over. But the Jets fans, as I was saying, will like the looks of the second goal that they score in tonight's game. Comes at the 3:23 mark of the second period. It's a beautiful passing play. Starts with a nice pass from Morrissey to Kyle Connor in the Jet zone. So this is a goal that starts 200 feet away from Jake Allen. It starts with a breakout.
Or if you're in Italy, that would be 197 feet away.
Well, no, it's even smaller than that, isn't it? It's something like the weird dimensions of that ice surface.
I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
I'm just trying to get onto the Rumors main stage, Drew.
You're working your material here. We appreciate that. You're working your material here before you make it to the big time. Kyle Connor gets the puck from Josh Morrissey. He does a sort of a dipsy doodle around. I believe it's Cody Glass who's heading off to the bench for the New Jersey Devils. And bad line change again for the Devils. And now the Jets have a 3-on-2. And it's three pretty skilled guys who have the puck. It's Kyle Connors taking it up over center. It's Mark Scheifele. It's Gabe Vilardi, and they're going up against Dougie Hamilton and Simone Nemec of the New Jersey Devils. And it's a mismatch here. What the Jets do to him. Connor hits the blue line. He passes it over to his right-hand side to Mark Scheifele. Scheifele feeds it across to Vilardi. Vilardi is just above the face-off circle to the right of Jake Allen, and he just uncorks a beautiful wrist shot. Absolutely primo placement of this shot by Gabe Vilardi. Nice goal by the Jets. Poor line change by the Devils. Beautiful shot by Gabe Vilardi. And the Jets have the 2-1 lead at this point. At just a few minutes into the second period. That's two straight periods now that the Jets have scored early. This is our heads-up hockey play of the game, courtesy of our friends at Wheatland Hockey. They're a proud sponsor of the Illegal Curve post-game show. Wheatland Hockey offers development-focused, inclusive programs that build hockey skills while fostering confidence, leadership, and resilience. There's a program for everybody. Check them out online, wheatlandhockey.ca. Beautiful goal by the Winnipeg Jets here.
Sorry, I was pulling up the replay here. And I was laughing to myself because Buffalo beat Toronto 7-4 tonight.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
We talked about that earlier.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I must have missed that. I must have been screwing around on my computer here, but that's just funny to me that they like that was a huge game for both teams because both teams are Buffalo's still in a wild card spot, I believe. So, anyways, that's just funny that they. I don't know. Toronto's a mess. Anyways, yeah, there was tons of room here in the neutral zone. Yeah, exactly. There was tons of room in the neutral zone. Like to me, this goal is like really all about Kyle Connor's speed, and then the fact that it's a 3-on-2, and the Devils' Dougie Hamilton just gives Gabe Vilardi enough room, and it's a beautiful pass by Scheifele to Vilardi, and like you said, Drew, it's a top corner shot. Yeah. So like again, the first line stepped up tonight. Like they scored obviously both goals. Both the first two goals, and they needed to. Like that's what you want to see, right? Like if they didn't have a good game for a second game in a row, guys, we would be talking about that. That would be the whole focus of the show. Would be the first line. The first line's not producing. The Jets aren't going anywhere unless the first line is stepping up. But these guys get paid the big bucks, and they earned it tonight. So beautiful goal, and I think the Devils need to practice line changes tomorrow.
Well, and also huge for Gabriel Vilardi to get to 20 goals this early in the season. I mean, 52 games in, whatever it is, or 51 games in, but still a fact for him. But the fact is that, this is a guy that's his fourth straight season now, as he with 20 goals or more. And I mean, he would be on pace for somewhere in the 30s, right? So if he can maintain something, maybe just a little bit less, but still pretty good for a guy who's, continues to elevate and remember, took a reduced role to try and help propel that second line.
What do you think about the fact that they were put back together for the second period and the third period, that being Connor, Scheifele, and Vilardi? Is that something, do you think that?
Well, they were put together for the third period of the Detroit game, right? So based on that, I mean, I don't think anybody should be that surprised, Drew, but yeah, I just thought it was a matter of time before those guys were reunited, quite frankly.
My concern, of course, is that it diminishes the second line back to a bit of a wasteland of
nothing,
whatever. Yeah, really.
But I think, but Dave, isn't that a reason why the Scheifele Connor pair can't be broken up, right? Like we saw the results. Vilardi goes back on the top line, even though it was the first line wasn't intact in the first period. It was after
Right.
the second period.
Yeah.
But isn't that a reason why that line should be together? Because they produce results, right?
Right. But I guess your concern is, what is that going to do? Now, again, if you're getting contributions from your third line and your fourth line, then you're less concerned. We'll see what it looks like in the pair of games against Florida. The Jets are off tomorrow, so we won't know if that's the plan to stick with this or if they're going to revert. So we'll see on Thursday how things look for them at morning skate. But my only thing is that it just diminishes. Now, at the end of the day, I'm Scott O'Neill suddenly, but at the end of this day specifically,
that doesn't change your use of Scott O'Neill's quote very much. I got to tell you,
Dave. I think you were saying at the end of the day before Scott O'Neill, you were the originator.
I might have been
at
actually.
The end of the day, you're another day older.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
I'm going to sing Les Mis if you keep it up.
Okay, listen, but the fact
I want to see Les Mis. I've never seen it.
It's great. I know the soundtrack. I know all the songs. At the end of the day,
the Minook family wants to listen to it on the drive to Minneapolis and back. But anyways, hold
on, Dave. The whole CD.
I'm gonna do the audience a fan. First of all, I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna do this. All right, there we go. Once Drew starts singing, we got to get rid of him. But anyways, we got to bring him back to you. Sorry, Drew. And now the order's all thrown off. But anyways, and I've thrown myself off now with what I was. I digressed myself into.
So, Dave, I want to know more about this Minook trip to Minneapolis, where you guys listened to Les Mis. Like, were you guys singing along? Like, was there?
I didn't know the music. My mom was a big fan, so we listened to it in the car ride.
Well, your mom's got good taste. Cheryl knows what she's talking about, so I think she's right on this one. That's now 2 straight shows, because I think it was it Saturday night show that I was able to reference a chorus line, and none of you picked up on that as well.
Come on, I'm from the North End. I don't have time for this.
You don't have time for musicals?
I feel like I'd like to watch more musicals.
They're all very good. I mean, you can't go wrong.
I did fall asleep at the Beatles' Love in Vegas.
Yeah, but that's not really. I mean,
I know that's not a musical.
How did you fall asleep in the Beatles' Love? The music is great. The performance in front of you is even better. How did you fall asleep in that?
I don't know. I found it
by the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boy,
look at Dave. Look, Dave. You can see it on his face right now. He was just in the sun. Dave, that sun hits Dave hard.
Yeah, exactly. Makes me tired. I get sleepy.
4 minutes later, the Jets make it 3-1. Cole Koepke gets his 5th assist from Alex Iafallo.
Hold on, Drew. I did see Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at Rainbow Stage with my niece. There you go.
Good. That's good. Did you fall asleep?
Hashtag cultured. No, I did not.
Okay.
I haven't seen that. Like, what does this coat do? Is it like a magical coat? Like, does he do things with it? Like, why is it?
Are you familiar with the biblical story?
He is not.
No, I'm not.
Wow, folks. Theologians in the chat, can you please explain to Essie what it's all about? It's Old Testament. This is up our alley. This is our area of expertise.
I told you I'm not a musical guy. I don't know what lesson from the
Bible isn't a musical.
No, but I don't know what part of the Bible it refers to. I don't know. Drew, I watch a lot of hockey, okay? I grew up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay?
That was Essie's Bible.
First of all, they're named after, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were named after artists, right? We'll start small.
Oh my God. Yes. Michelangelo, Donatello. Yes. Raphael, Monet.
Koepke gets his 5th, assist Iafallo and Barron.
Van Gogh was my favorite Ninja Turtle, Drew.
The Jets get the rare 2-0 thanks to the New Jersey Devils and their shoddy defensive play on this one. I mean, it's, again, this is just, you're wondering what the Devils are doing on a lot of these plays. DeMello passes it up to Barron, and he just chips it past to Iafallo. The 2 defensemen for the Devils that are it's Siegenthaler and it's Connor Brown, and neither of whom account for the fact that Alex Iafallo has gone behind them. He takes the pass off the boards. Cole Koepke goes hard to the net. He gets his own rebound. So it's a shot from Iafallo. He gets it towards the net. Koepke, Allen makes the first save, and Koepke's there to get the rebound to make it 3-1 for the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, again, folks, I think you all watch enough hockey to know that if you're on a 2-0, something has gone wrong for the other team. But kudos to Koepke for just driving hard towards the net is what he does on this play. And he gets rewarded, and then the Jets get rewarded, and they have a 3-1 lead before the 8-minute mark of the second period, Dave.
Yeah, and one of the things that Scott O'Neill said that they weren't doing against Detroit as he was going to the front of the net, and I referenced it in the preamble before we got the game recap underway, and this is one of the things that you get rewarded for. And Cole Koepke, I mean, he's a testament to kind of perseverance. This is a guy who didn't score a goal in his first 17 games in and out of the lineup. Yeah, Doug's comment. And in his last 19 now, he's got 5 goals, back-to-back goals he scored obviously against Detroit, scored against tonight, and then previously in the season, he scored back-to-back goals.
The Jets are keeping him, Dave. I'm sorry. Before you continue, I just think he's really proven that he's a guy that should be back next year. I think he's a perfect complementary fourth line player.
Yeah, I would agree. He plays on the PK. I think that he's part of that Minnesota crew. I think he makes a lot of sense to retain. He's not going to cost you a ton. And so, I mean, provided he wants to stay, I would see that. I can't see why not, especially because, I mean, we oftentimes we talk about it with younger players that we take for granted that they can just adjust to a new scenario, but maybe it took him a little more time, maybe a couple of months, and now he's adjusted. And 5 goals in 19 games. I mean, he had 10 last year in his season with the Bruins. So, I mean, if you can get him to, not going to get to 10 this year, I don't think, but if you can get him to 7 or 8 by the end of the season, that's not too bad. And then you wonder if you can kind of keep him in a similar role next year and have a fourth line with a little bit of
speed
definition. Well, speed for sure, Drew, but definition, I think. So, yeah, I just like the play, and I like the fact that the Jets are aggressive in this period. The Jets were aggressive, right? The second period has been, again, I think this is what Kelly said. The second period has been the Jets' period in terms of goal scoring. They've scored a lot of goals in that second period. So relative to the rest of the league, I should say. And so this is a nice play by Winnipeg, and it's a statement saying, listen, it's 2-1, but we're not going to sit back. Because what did we say about them in the last game? Was that, or even in the third period, they sat back a little bit, but I like that in the second period with the 2-1 lead, they're making some aggressive plays, and this is one of them resulting in a goal.
And this is former Winnipeg Jet. I'm not sure if Dave, if you mentioned it, I was again, I had multiple tabs open, recipes, highlights, stuff like that.
Sure.
He's studying. He's studying
definitely
on the Old Testament. He's learning about the Bible.
He just found out. He just found out his name is from the Old Testament.
Yes, Ezra is a biblical name. But
have you folks heard about this Adam and Eve and the snake? Whoa, mind blowing.
I know the basic story. Okay, I know the basic. I know the gist of the Old Testament. Okay, I've got a pretty good idea what it's all about. But Jonathan Kovacevic gets caught up ice, right? He pinches and then he gets caught up, and it's just a heads up play by Morgan Barron to chip the puck to Alex Iafallo. And just like, I love these types of goals. You guys know the fourth line. Maybe it was because I was like a depth defenseman when I played hockey, so I kind of relate to the maybe the guys that don't get as many goals. But I love this. Like, it's just a lot of hustle, just a lot of hustle on this goal. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Koepke, Dave mentioned it. Koepke's been really solid. Like, I don't know how at this point Gus Nyquist gets back into the lineup, boys. Like, I don't see it. Like, and again, I don't think anybody's clamoring for Gus Nyquist to get. I don't think that there's like.
I don't think Gus Nyquist wants to get himself in the lineup right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's any guy that's a possibility of getting traded before the trade deadline, if it's not Luke Shen, then it's probably going to be Gus Nyquist. Probably both guys, to be honest with you, you're going to get traded. But yeah, Drew, you touched on it. Like, just a good hustle goal. Dave mentioned, they keep the foot on the gas, and then obviously, once it gets to 4-1, I mean, just I knew it was over at that point, just because the Jets,
Devils I didn't think it was over by any stretch of the imagination.
When the Devils made it 4-2 late in the second,
but they, let's be honest, Dave, like, they're one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. Maybe it's the pessimistic Devils fan in me just didn't. I thought that the 4-1 goal by Niederreiter, which we'll get into, was the killer, the backbreaker, as I like to call it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that 4-1 goal comes about 9 minutes after the Koepke goal. There's about just over 3 minutes to go in the second period. It starts with a really nice body check by Dougie Hamilton on Paul Cotter, like a strong body check by Hamilton on Cotter. The only problem is they're on the same team. So when one player on one team hits his own teammate, it's not ideal. But
in practice, it would be fine, though, Drew.
In practice, it would be fine. Sure, it's a good battle drill in practice. Yeah. Unfortunately, in this instance, Adam Lowry goes in and he chips the puck up towards Vlad Nemesnikov.
First of all, he kicked it up. It was a nice play by Lowry to use the old soccer skills.
Yeah, so now it's a 2-on-1 with Vlad Nemesnikov and Nino Niederreiter. And if anybody's watched the Jets this year, you would not expect necessarily that those two guys are going to successfully connect on an offensive play because of how much they've struggled this season. But kudos to them both on this one. Jonas Siegenthaler is the defender who's back for the Devils. It's a nice pass from Nemesnikov over to Niederreiter, and he one-times it past Jake Allen. Any goal that those two guys can be a part of is a good goal, as they've both been snake bitten. They both struggled significantly this year. Niederreiter wires it past Allen. It's 4-1 for the Jets with a little more than 3 minutes to go in the second period. Again, ugly from the Devils' perspective, opportunistic from the Jets' perspective, Dave.
Well, and also the fact that Nemesnikov hustles. I mean, I like the fact that this team knows that a 2-1 lead or a 3-1 lead, the way they've been playing, isn't insurmountable. We've seen it too many times over the course of the last month where they've blown big leads. So I like Lowry play along the boards. You like the fact that Nemesnikov hustles to get to that puck, and they've had very bad luck, I would say, that duo for sure in terms of production. So for Nino Niederreiter, I don't know that anybody needs to score more than him, because he's had so I know he scored against Toronto not that long ago. What was that, 2 weeks ago, Drew?
It was 2 weeks ago Saturday. Yes, that's exactly right. So 16 days ago. Yeah.
So, but it's for a guy who had 6 goals early into the season and then all of a sudden has 2 in his last 3 months. It's just a nice play. So, I mean, again, the captain recognizes that there's an opportunity, little kick out, and those guys get on their wheels. And nice pass. And I mean, I'm sure you can see by Allen's reaction, he kind of thought he should have had that one, has he? But a nice play by Nemesnikov. I just thought he hustled well and got the puck over to Niederreiter, who fired it home.
And Dave, I'm glad that you mentioned Lowry, because that's not the first time we've seen that. Remember, I don't know how long ago, and I definitely don't remember against which team.
I know you're going to talk about.
Remember when he did that little kind of skate, behind?
Was it Columbus?
Honestly, Dave, I don't remember at all. I'm not even going to pretend. But it was a similar type of play. It was a similar type of soccer play, and it's a really smart play. Like Drew said, Cotter and Hamilton bump in, and so it's smart by Lowry to kick the puck up to Nemesnikov. So it's a big secondary assist for him. And to your guys' point, these guys, at this point, anytime they score, it doesn't matter if it goes off their ass. It doesn't even matter. It's just positive, because those struggles have been well documented. So I love the fact that the Jets added to their lead. And like I said before, that was the goal to me that kind of really put this game out of reach. I realized the Devils got within 1 goal, but it was just big to have that kind of double extra insurance going into the third.
Look, as Adam Lowry is Johnny on the spot on this one. Maybe you could say he's Johnny Appleseed on the spot. He watches Paul Cotter and he watches Dougie Hamilton play, fight each other like Cain and Abel right there. He's going to take the puck and he's going to send it up the ice. It's just going to be biblical references from here on out. That's all it's going to be. From the rest of the show, it's going to be me doing biblical references. 4-1 for the Jets at that point. 4-2 at the end of 40 minutes as the Devils get a power play goal. Jesper Bratt gets his 12th of this season, assist to Jack Hughes and the aforementioned Dougie Hamilton. This comes with Kyle Connor in the box for tripping Jesper Bratt. The Devils, move the puck around very nicely on their power play. They're going low to high. They're adjusting. They're moving it very well around. Somebody's got to get on Bratt's stick here. That someone in my instance is probably Dylan Samberg. I know they're shorthanded and everything, but Connor Hellebuyck's in good position to take the Jack Hughes shot. Hughes doesn't have anything to shoot at here, so you need to tie up the stick, because the only thing that Jack Hughes had is the slap pass or a redirection by Bratt, and nobody takes his stick. Nobody cuts that off as an opportunity, and Jack Hughes puts it right on Bratt's tape, and he redirects it past Connor Hellebuyck to make it 4-2 with 36 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if Azzy was going to go, but the only thing is, when you're watching this replay, you just can't have.
I was reading about Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. I'll be honest with you. I was talking. So this Jacob seems to have a big role in it.
anyways, all I'd say is that I mean, you have two defensemen in DeMello and Sandberg, and I understand that Sandberg is the closer of the two. And you're right, Drew. I mean, really, the shot from Hughes is something that Hellebuck can handle. Someone has to tie up Bratt in the front of the net. I mean, there's just there's two defensemen. Someone has to take Bratt, and you can't let him have unfettered access to that kind of real estate, right, Ezzy? So, I mean, it's a tough play for the Jets especially because you've killed a minute and a half of the power play, and you are 30. How many seconds away from 36 seconds. So you're 36 seconds away from leaving with a 4-1 lead. 4-1 lead it's over. I mean, I'm with Ez. It most likely is, but the Jets are not the Jets from last year. So you don't have that same level of confidence that this team with a 4-2 lead is going to lock it down. 4-1 lead, I would have felt fine. I know that folks are going to say, well, they had a 4-1 lead against the Leafs and they blew that, but the Devils are, as Ezzy very smartly put it out, this is a team that cannot score goals. So I don't think the Devils would not be in that similar position.
Yeah, and like Drew said, and like you touched on, Dave, it's a nice goal. Jesper Bratt, I've said this to you guys before. In addition to when the Jets play the Wild, I always mention this. Like Matt Boldy, to me, is one of the most underrated players in the league. Jesper Bratt, if you look at his advanced stats, like he's like, advanced stats people absolutely love him. But Bratt's a very underrated player because when you think of New Jersey, who do you think of? You think of Jack Hughes and you think of Nico Hischier. But Bratt, you look at his stats year after year, he puts up great numbers. So it was a really nice play. And yeah, they got a little bit of life, but luckily they only got one more goal in the third period. But that's one thing that the Devils, I think their power play was third or fourth overall in the league. So that's one thing that's been really good for the Devils this year.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
You mean like total or? Oh, I thought there was. I mean, it's good. I think they're down to 11th. 10th.
They're now down to 10th.
Yeah, they were 11th coming into the game, but they've been.
Maybe it was something like third or fourth in the last.
I was just going to say the problem is, Ezzy, that's the whole season, right? That's that's the issue. So sometimes, like when we were talking about it in the last game, where I was like, oh, they're this, and Drew's like, well, yeah, but they've been like the hottest PK for like the last week or two. So it's hard when you look at the totals thing versus the kind of recent snapshot.
I knew it was a good power play. I got maybe a little bit excited at saying it was third or fourth, but
it's okay. It's a little, you're allowed to get excited. 4-2 after 40 minutes. The Devils, like we talked about earlier on the post-game show, the Jets did a real good job in that first 10 minutes. I thought of the third period, sort of not giving up a lot. The Devils start to push back. They get a power play opportunity. Josh Morrissey takes a tripping penalty with 6 minutes to go. The Jets killed that one off, but I thought after that power play, they were on their heels for most of the rest of the game.
And they had 4 shots, Drew, on that power play.
Right. And Connor Hellebuck had to come up big on that power play. And then with a minute and 46 seconds to go, Nico Hischier gets his 17th of the season, assist to Bratt and Hughes. It's a 6-on-5 goal. So they've pulled Jake Allen from the net. I'm not sure why. Did you guys think that was a high sticking penalty?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, against
Oh yeah, they missed one for sure, Drew.
Yeah,
right. The only reason that I thought that maybe it wasn't is if they said it was Morrissey's own stick.
Yeah,
and I mean, I was watching the broadcast, and everything that I saw on the broadcast, all the replays I saw, which admittedly, they didn't have a great deal of an opportunity to show multiple replays of it. I thought it was a devil's stick that caught Morrissey up in the teeth. So I was curious as to why that wasn't a penalty, because that seemed like a pretty blatant missed call by the officials.
Hashtag game management.
Well, but that's not even a game management play at that point in time. That's just pretty obvious that should have been a high sticking penalty. I don't know why it wasn't. Maybe they said it was Morrissey's own stick. I'd have to see a closer replay on that front.
You know what, Drew, that always, I mean, you don't always know it's a high stick while it's happening live, because obviously things are happening quickly, especially on a power play, right? But it's the way Morrissey reacted.
Yeah, he grabs his face.
Yeah, like, so that to me, and then you watch the replay, and was it Dadonov? I forget who it was that, or was it Gritsuk? I forget who actually high sticked him out there. It might have been Dadonov, guys, but I'd have to go back and actually watch that sequence, because here on NHL.com, I don't think. Yeah, I think
see it. It doesn't. It's because it's too far behind the play. From they don't show that high stick. Leading up to the goal, because it wasn't like a bang bang sort of situation. But I thought that the play should have been killed at that point in time, and a penalty handed out to the Devils. It doesn't end up
No,
mattering.
it was Gritsuk.
Okay.
Yeah, the chat can back me up here. He's 81 because you can see where he was right after it happened. So I think it was him. It was Gritsuk or Dadanov, but I'm pretty sure it's Gritsuk. Doug's saying Gritsuk. Does it not remind you of Pavel Datsuk when you see that name? Am I the only one?
Well, I mean, the last four letters are the same. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In that sense.
Yeah. That's all I've got, Drew. Have a good night.
He's gone just like that. Mic drop and he's out. In any event, the Devils score to make it 4-3. The Jets do hold on, of course, to get the victory. Connor
really enjoyed that empty net goal that they scored with Vladimir.
Velarde
had a chance.
Yeah.
Well,
Velarde had a chance. Yeah.
Velarde
when the first chance was Velarde's, and when he got sort of his pocket picked, and I was like, oh, this is coming back and going into the Jets. I was just waiting for them to score at that point in time, but they don't. Vlad Nemesnikov misses an empty net as well. Again, probably the story of the Jets season in that case. They can't do anything easy at that point, or for their own benefit, but they get the victory 4-3. Tonight over the New Jersey Devils. A much-needed win before the Jets head to Florida to face the Lightning on Thursday.
It'll be a lot warmer in Florida than it's going to be in New Jersey, Ezzy.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Lightning, by the way, they're atop the Eastern Conference, 8-1-1 in their last 10. So that is going to be a significant test for
Ezzy,
the Lightning.
Featuring who on the blue line?
Simone Lundmark.
Simone?
Is it Simon?
You mean Simon?
To me, he's always been Simone.
Simone.
Did the Jets trade Lundmark or did he leave?
No, he just signed as a free agent with Tampa.
He signed as a free agent,
Yeah. 2019 second rounder.
Yeah, you can see him on Thursday night between the Jets and the Lightning.
Good kid. Finally made his NHL debut. So talk to some of the Moose players about that today, Ezzy. Guys are excited.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you tell us what they said on the other side of the break?
That's what I was teeing up.
There you go. Drew Mandel, Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg. It's the Illegal Curve post-game show presented by Play Now. Dave M is going to talk about the Moose on the other side, so you know what that means. It's time for Minuk Moose Minute after these commercial messages.
I want to thank you for not betting with Play Now and choosing our illegal gambling site instead.
Because we couldn't afford things like this without your money.
So much of your money.
Now you might have questions like,
Do our profits benefit your community?
No.
or bet with Play Now, Manitoba's local legal and secure gambling site.
Dining, entertainment, parking, and convenience, all in one spot. City Place is located in the heart of downtown Winnipeg, attached to the Canada Life Centre. Whether you're working, living, or out for a night in the downtown, make City Place your go-to destination before or after the fun finds you. Lunchtime, game time, anytime. Visit City Place at 333 St. Mary Avenue, next to Canada Life Centre.
Boys, I've made an important life decision, and I need your support.
Oh, boy.
I've decided to get a grill.
You mean a barbecue grill for cooking? Like, that's not an important life decision, Ezzy.
No. A grill for my teeth.
A grill for your teeth? Do I even want to know why you're doing this?
It's simple, really. Every time I go to Holt Dental, I get treated so very well by Dr. John and his team that I need to keep finding additional reasons to go back. I rely on Holt Dental for all of my dental needs, and they do it all, from regular cleanings to cosmetic dentistry. Plus, they have free parking at their front door, and you know how much I love my convenient parking.
For all your dental needs, Illegal Curve recommends Holt Dental, conveniently located on Taylor Avenue near Grant Park Mall. For more information, visit them online at holtdental.ca. For over 40 years, Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club has been Winnipeg's home for stand-up comedy. Renowned in the comedy world as a must-play venue, Rumors has recently been named Canada's top comedy club and a top 5 comedy club in North America. From birthday parties to date nights to fundraisers, wedding socials, and everything in between, Rumors is your destination for the best live entertainment Winnipeg has to offer. For information on upcoming shows, Rumors' incredible promotions, and to purchase show tickets, visit rumorscomedyclub.com.
This January, it's Pasta Tuesday every day at Boston Pizza. Our pastas start at just $11.99 all month long. Create your own or go gourmet for a little extra. Plus, the deal continues every Tuesday all year. Hungry for saucy savings? Hungry for BP.
I grabbed the wrong mouse and I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't work for me to get the show back from
You have
commercial.
mice?
Well, like, a mouse. Like,
I thought you
mouse.
meant like. I thought you meant like the different type of mouse.
You thought he was running around trying to catch mice?
Yeah.
And using them to bring the show, like I was going to use them to like peck the keyboard or something.
Yes.
Hell of an operation we got here.
I mean, honest to goodness, it's a special night that we have here is what we have. Dave, you were talking to some Manitoba Moose players today.
Put on your antlers. It's time for the Manitoba Moose Minute on the Illegal Curve Hockey Show.
I was indeed, Drew. I was indeed. The Moose. Big winners, Ezzy. I mean, they played, that was on Sunday, but a big win, a late win for the Manitoba Moose over the number one AHL leading Grand Rapids Griffins, a Grand Rapids team that had only lost one game in like 30 something. It ended up, the Moose handed them their first regulation loss on the road.
Dave, it's because we had Finker on Saturday's show. That's why we gave them the boost.
We did give them the IC boost. That's true. So they played a really good game on Friday. Could have won. Special teams were the difference in that one. Sunday, they were very good. Obviously, Phillips and Jilkin back in the lineup, and they'd both factor in Phillips on the opening goal by Kel Clegg. He got an assist, and then Jilkin got his 8th of the season. Nice little backhand shot to tie the game in the third period. They were down. Moose found themselves down 2-1. Jilkin ties it, and then Brad Lamberto, with 27 seconds to go, he gives the Moose the game-winning goal. Got to give credit to Parker Ford. He was causing all sorts of chaos in front. Phil DiGiuseppe, he made a real nice play to bring the puck in, and so the Moose with a late game-winning goal to give, like I said, hand Grand Rapids their first regulation loss. So a nice win for Manitoba. 3 wins, as Daniel told us on the broadcast. 2 wins against Laval last weekend, who were the first place team in the North, and then 1 win and 1 loss against Grand Rapids. So 3 of their last 4 have been against the first place team. Of course, only 2 teams, but they've been big wins against those clubs, and now the Moose are rolling. They'll be facing Rockford this coming weekend. So good times in Mooseland. Walker Dewar, though, he is day-to-day right now. I talked to Mark Morrison. Yeah, he didn't play in the game on Sunday. Jacob Julian, the 2023 fifth-rounder, he made his home debut in Antlers, so he played his first game. Everything Mark Morrison said, which you can listen to on our YouTube channel after the show is done, seems to think that he thought he played well, and we talked to Braden Yeager today. He also seems to be playing real well. Mark Morrison spoke about him, and I just talked to Braden about his development as a first-year pro. So you can check that out in Parker Ford as well, who we spoke to today after practice, which looked largely similar to how the lineup was constructed on Sunday. Not surprising, given that they won. So we'll see how things roll throughout the week. But it sounds like Walker Dewar could be available for the next weekend set. We'll see. But things are good in Mooseland. They're very happy. There's a lot of joy because they are winning.
How does Brad Lambert feel about you calling him Brad Lamberto?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. I just feel like I can't really convey it through Twitter, so I usually just keep it to Brad Lambert. But I feel like I like you being able to say Lamberto. So I mean, it's more of a fun thing I had on this show, Drew. Not for you, though. But look, I mean, even for him, he's got the shootout game-winning goal against Laval, and he's got the game-winning goal against Grand Rapids. He's been playing better, and that's obviously a good thing for the Winnipeg Jets and for the Manitoba Moose and for Brad Lambert. So a lot of those guys, even Nikita Chibrikov, who doesn't show up, I think he might have been on the score. He might have had an assist, but I think they took it away. But he had a really nice block. I mean, I shouldn't. And
Chibrikov needed that assist because his point totals are a little light.
No, they are. But I mean, the Moose collectively don't score a ton of goals. But I will say, like, Chibrikov jumped up into the doer spot on Sunday's game, and he looked pretty good because he can mix it up. He's got some skill, and he had a nice little block. So we'll see. I called it a nice block. It wasn't a nice block. It was actually a rather ugly block, but he did one at the end of a long shift for his teammates. So it was a good sacrifice. I'm sure his teammates appreciated it. And like I said, the Moose continue to roll, get ready for Rockford, and and Danny Zhilkin looked good as well. So someone said, what happened to Zhilkin? Nothing happened to Zhilkin. The Jets just decided they didn't need an extra forward. So they left Zhilkin behind.
There's the Manitoba Moose Minute here tonight on the Illegal Curve post-game show. That'll do it for us. We've covered it all. We've covered the musicals. We've covered the biblical references. There's nothing left for us to discuss tonight. We will say a big thank you to all the sponsors of Illegal Curve who make the post-game show, the Saturday show, and the website a possibility. That's our friends at Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Play Now, Holt Dental, City Place, Wheatland Hockey, and of course, Boston Pizza as well. Support these fine businesses because of their continued support of Illegal Curve Hockey. If you haven't already done so, folks, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and tell your friends, tell your family that the best place to be after each and every Winnipeg Jets game, and again on Saturday mornings, is the Illegal Curve YouTube channel. We're next in action Thursday night. Should be about 8:30, 8:40 p.m. unless there's a 35-minute pregame ceremony we don't know about. Might be a little bit later if that happens. Other than that, we'll be here on Thursday to talk about the Jets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Plenty more post-game coverage to come on illegalcurve.com. For Dave Manouk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Until Thursday night, we wish you good night and good luck. And thanks for watching the Illegal Curve post-game show.